I was feeling hopeless. I felt like this was going to be my life unless I made a change now. And I didn't realize how much it was really, truly impacting me, my relationships, and my ability to just enjoy life until starting the program and recognizing that there was so much more that I was completely missing out on because I was so focused on my body and food. Now there's a sense of hope, even though I know that there's a long journey ahead. There's a sense of hope there now, which was not there before. This was a way for me to reconnect and really understand how I can care for my body, but it became a whole lot more than just about caring for my body. It became learning how to care for my whole being, my soul, my emotional being, and all of the different complex pieces that make one themselves, and reconnect with my family almost in certain ways because food had just kind of taken over and it had been a distraction. In the past year, within the pandemic, or the year and a half, I had come from such a history of control and restriction, and the pandemic, in a way, was an opportunity that I could have taken that further, but instead I eased up for some reason. I still don't know why. And that really allowed me to recognize that there was more to life than what I was doing, but I was overwhelmed and didn't even know how to begin to fix that. Food was controlling my every thought and a lot of my actions throughout every day, and also taking away from my relationships and my ability to just enjoy and be present in life. I thought during the pandemic that as soon as this is all over, I'll just go back to restricting and it'll be fine. And I'll just get back to the body that I had before and it'll be all good. And then I realized that I was just exhausted and couldn't do it again, and wanted to find out how to move forward and move past all of these hangups in regard to food and my body for good. Because I had no idea where to start, I began kind of looking around and realized that it was going to be a matter of me not only working on just getting away from the diet mentality, which I didn't understand that's what it was at the time, but also loving and accepting myself and my body. I was feeling hopeless. I felt like this was going to be my life unless I made a change now. And I didn't realize how much it was really, truly impacting me, my relationships, and my ability to just enjoy life until starting the program and recognizing that there was so much more that I was completely missing out on because I was so focused on my body and food. Before Reconnect Academy, I was living this life of always planning the next diet or always excessively counting macros, or I was on this workout routine that I had to do every single day. And it was an all or nothing, black or white thinking that was driving me because I had this sense that no one was going to want to accept me for who I was. Rather, they were accepting me because of how I looked and how good I was, and good being a relative term in relation to how I was eating and how I was exercising. I wouldn't go pretty much a day without working out then. If I did, it would just consume my mind all day. That's been one huge change. I listen to my body and decide day by day how I'm going to move. And also, my eating has changed. I don't carry the guilt every day about whether it was a bad or a good eating day. I don't find myself constantly counting calories in my head or, determining how much more I can eat for the day or doing any of those restrictive food behaviors. I can't say they're 100% don't pop into my head. They're still there, but they're much less. The biggest thing that I've noticed is just my ability to be present throughout my day and when I'm with my family at home. I'm able to actually be in a relationship distraction free and not feel as though I'm consumed by thoughts that are taking up so much brain space that I can't spend the time I want to or focus in on playing with my kids or listening to how their day was. And I think emotionally, I'm able to actually recognize and feel emotions that I haven't been feeling for years. Sometimes they're uncomfortable, that it also feels amazing to be able to express and experience those emotions and then move forward without those emotions weighing me down. And even though some days it doesn't feel like I have, when I look back over the last 12 weeks, I certainly have changed immensely. At first, when I started, I was like, oh no, there's a small group. I was very interested in the larger group and then individual calls because in a large group, it's much easier to blend in. You can be there, but not really be there if you don't want to be. But the Moai group, quite honestly, it was a lovely surprise. We all click, and we have from the beginning. And I think, if nothing else, it was a place that we felt safe to talk about what we were experiencing, what we were going through, without having to feel any sense of shame or any sense of they're not going to understand me. You knew that no matter what, 100%, you could be you and you could talk about or say anything and it didn't matter. In the large group, it was so amazing how we're such a diverse group of people, and yet coming together, we learned from each other every week. It was something you looked forward to in order to be able to take that next step forward. Even just to be there to support someone else when they were going through a difficult time during the program was a pretty amazing thing. Accountability is accountability, but I think this was more beautiful than that. It was just this really special bond. We appreciated one another for everything, and all the different perspectives helped me to understand maybe thinking about something I hadn't thought about in a certain way before. We've done other programs and courses, and you can do an online course and you can, go your own pace, or you can follow even like a weekly course, but it group of women that you go through with Reconnect Academy with makes all the difference in this program. That is, I think, a big part of why I have made so much progress and feel like it's actually the first step in this journey that I hope to keep moving forward on. If you are even questioning if you would benefit from this program, you will benefit from this program. There were things in the first 5 to 6 weeks of the program that were so beneficial and helpful for me, not only in regard to helping me with food and my body, but just things that I didn't even know were something that were important for me to be working on, and were immensely helpful just on their own. And then were building blocks that then moved me toward being able to really set this good foundation for healing my relationship with food and my body. I doubted for sure initially. I remember thinking, is this really going to work, or is this just going to be another program that I do? And then 2 weeks later, things are back to the way they were. And I truly believe that it's not. I think that I really recognize now how pervasive diet culture is. And I'm now recognizing how much it impacts pretty much every woman that I come in contact with. I'm feeling grateful that now I can hopefully be able to share with other women and help others to understand and know that there's a whole lot more out there than what we eat or what we look like, or even what diet you're on. Knowing how much I've struggled and watching what I've gone through, and then having daughters who are just at the beginning of really when they can start to understand and are being affected by our society, it made me really think, wow, I need to be someone that can support them in that and help them to navigate it. They're still going to have to go through it and have to, unfortunately, be exposed to all of the things that I was. But I'm hopeful that now that I have worked through some of these things and I'm on the journey to being at a better place overall with my body, hopefully now I can teach them how to love themselves and really experience life and not have to worry about all of the other body and food struggles.